If you're online, if you're online and you can hear me, please indicate so that we'll start. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen right now so that okay. So I believe we can see the all right, so let's start. As I already said in the class, I said in the WhatsApp group we will be looking at an introduction into AI agents. So let's start first. The first question to ask: what are AI agents? At least we should understand what they are before we start going diving into it. First of all, AI agents are software programs or systems that can perceive their environment, make decisions, have four of these. One, autonomy, meaning that it can operate independently and make decisions on their own. Very important. The second one is perception, can sense their environment using inputs like text, images, data. They can make decisions on their own. Two, can perceive their environment. What I mean by perceive their environment, meaning that they can receive inputs, whether text, images, video, voice, data, or any form of these things. But they must be able to interact with their environment, sense it, interact with it, and receive input. Thirdly, reasoning, can process information, plan and solve problem. That's very important, meaning that after they've received the input, they should be able to gather this input, think logically, and come up with a plan and to solving the problem and come up with a solution. Very important. There is no AI agent that does not have a reasoning part. Without the reasoning part, it's almost like saying a human being without a brain. That's it's as good as saying it's not a human being, it's not functional. So the reasoning part is like the brain for an AI agent. Fourthly, fourth part is the action. After it has processed the input it has received by perceiving the environment, it should be able to take an action. Can execute tasks directly or by coordinating with other systems. Now, in this particular case, you're able to take action. That's what matters, either independently or by taking permission from a human, because we can so program it in such a way that it's after it has reasoned a solution, it will come over and tell you and say, okay, oh, this is what I came up with. Are you okay with it before I go further down the line? And if it says it's okay with it, you can as well go further with it. So let's go over it again. Characteristics of AI agents. There are four: autonomy, perception, reasoning, and action. Good. Examples of AI agents. There are several examples, a lot of it. And one of them is Siri. Siri is a form of an AI agent where the environment it interacts with is with your voice. So it receives the voice, like you can say, Siri, what's the weather today? So that in itself is an input. It receives it, connects with all the data it has, then come back with a reply. Where that's the action it takes. It replies with an answer, also in the form of a voice. Example again, we have a software agents like Relevant AI, N88N, and the rest of them. And the function of these ones is the reason why we call them software agents. These are agents that are in form of a software and they carry out autonomous what to do, and they go ahead doing it themselves. So, and this will most likely be what we'll be looking at ourselves. Okay, autonomous agents. Examples of autonomous agents. In this, they can execute tasks by themselves. Examples of them is like, let's say, self-driving cars. In this particular one, they have the ability, they have sensors that can sense other vehicles around. That can also see images and by that respond to it. And a good example is Tesla. Tesla's driving cars. Those kind of things. What they do there is just to put it out there. Have we been? Have there been any change in the slide? Have you been seeing any change in the slide? Please, if yes, reply, please. Because I'm not sure whether the slides are changing. Okay. No change. Oh, I see. Let me go over it again. Let me reshare the screen because just later on I noticed that it looks as if nothing is changing. Let me reshare it again. Okay. Can we see the screen now? Can we? I want to know so that I can run along. Okay. So let's let's see. Okay. If at any point you are not able to see the screen, maybe for two, because the screen is not supposed to stay at one point more than 2 minutes. So once it has passed 2 minutes and they are not seeing any change, you can highlight. Can just let me know through the chat so that I can know what to do. All right. So let's start all over again. What are AI agents? AI agents are software programs or systems that can perceive the environment, make decisions, and act autonomously to achieve specific goals. Very important. Those are the key parts to it. And the characteristics of AI agents are four main characteristics of an AI agent. One, autonomy. What do we mean by autonomy? Autonomy means that it can operate independently and make decisions on their own. This is very important for an AI agent. An AI agent that does not have the capability and the ability to operate independently on its own and make decisions on your own is not regarded as an AI agent. Because here you are, if you have to tell it before it does or and cannot think and make decisions independently, we don't usually categorize it as an AI agent. It can be something else, but it's not an AI agent. The second part is perception. Can sense its environment using inputs like text, images, data, voice, meaning that it receives inputs. One form of input, either you type something to it and say, I would like to do this, or you feed it with an image and say, please, can you classify this for me, or something. It must have an input, and by so it is interacting with its environment, voice, data, different means, and there are different means by which it can interact with the environment. One, keyboard, where we can use in typing, a mic or a microphone, which you use in receiving voice, sensors that can sense different vehicles, like in self-driving cars, excuse me, and the rest. Thirdly, reasoning can process information, plan, and solve problems. Fourthly, action can execute tasks directly or by coordinating with other systems, as we'll be seeing in some of the examples we'll be seeing. Let's move over to examples of AI agents. Examples of AI agents, some of them we are aware of them, like virtual assistants. We have different virtual assistants. We have Alexa, we have Siri, and the way the inputs they receive is voice. The it has its own mechanism of processing the voice, the information or the command you give it, and it comes back with a response, replies with an answer, which is also always in the voice. So Siri is one of the virtual assistants. You can as well create your own virtual assistant, but one of the examples of AI agents is virtual assistant. Second one are software agents. Software agents, example of them is Relevant AI. We'll be looking at this particular one today. Second one is N8, and there are several of them. I'm just giving some examples of them. We also have autonomous agents. We have Tesla, self-driving cars, where the input is voice, images, and other vehicles from a sensor which is inside the vehicle itself. It can sense it has sensors which can sense other vehicles and the distance between them and the rest of them, and obstacles too. What does it do? After sensing this, it helps it to navigate the road. Another example of autonomous agents are Manus. This one is a recent release that just came out not too long, and the function of this is the good thing about this type is that you give it an instruction, it goes by itself to do it. Let me explain what I mean. Let's say, for instance, I want to search for puppies, images of puppies, and you give this instruction to Manus now, the Manus AI. What it does after you give it, it will go to Google, search Google itself, and type in images of puppies, and bring it will lead you to the image part of Google search, and you see all of the images. All of his actions are visible. It has a side image where you can see all what he's doing. It's very transparent. It will tell you all what he's doing. His thinking pattern, it will tell you also, and it can go ahead. It can even book an appointment for you. It can make calls on your behalf. It's so autonomous. It can do things by itself without little or no assistance. How do you build AI agents? Very important. One, you can use code, meaning that you use the major programming language that is used in building AI agents, but it is not the only one, but the major one is Python. Python programming language. So if you are good in Python programming, you can code it yourself, yes, and build from scratch if you know how to do so. So you can use a programming language, Python, best case scenario, then you combine it with some tools and some modules, then you are able to build your AI agents. Second way you can build it, these ones have become popular these days, and the good thing with this is that, so if you are a non-tech person, you don't have an idea of coding and the rest of them, you can still build AI agents. And that brings us to what we refer to as non-code AI agent builders. Example of them is N8N, Relevance AI, Agent AI, Make.com. There's several of them, Agentive, so many. And each of them have one advantage over the other, or one will do something better than the other. So over time, you'll have to pick the one that works best for you. But out of my own personal observation, the one that is easy, when you say the learning curve is not that much. Example of them is the Agent AI, the learning sorry Relevant AI. Instead, Relevant AI, the learning curve is not that steep. So if I'm to suggest which one you should start with, I will suggest you start with the Relevance AI, and that's the one we'll be starting with first. After we've perfected Relevance AI, I'll give I'll explain to you, I'll show you how it is done. Then each and every one of us, you go back, create a simple agent and share it in the group. Let's see what you've done. That's the best way to do it. You watch, you observe, and you do. And if you have any difficulty, you can chat me up either on YouTube, or you can chat me up in the WhatsApp group. Any of them, I would definitely answer you. Okay. Components of an AI agent. LLM, meaning large language model. And this is the part that is in charge of reasoning, planning, is in charge of it. Without this LLM, your AI agent will not work. It's more like saying a human being without a brain, or a computer without an operating system. It will not work. So you must have an LLM. And when we refer, okay, I will explain more into the LLM later. Prompts. Here is where you give an instruction, what the agent is to do. This is where you must give detailed explanation of what this AI agent is to, what is expected of it. This is where you give it prompts, different prompts. We'll be looking more into it. The third one is tools. Tools. Here, these are the things that are at the disposal of the AI agent so that it can carry out its function properly very well. The fourth one is memory, for storing data and for conversation. Here is where it can store data, which is going to be making use of when it wants to carry out its tasks. And also, if you have a conversation with it, it should still be able to remember what you said before, what was the last thing you said. So memory is very important when it comes to an AI agent. Please, all these things we've said are very important. So store them, and if you have to jot them somewhere, very important, you should do so. Like for instance, we looked at the characteristics of AI agent: autonomy, perception, reasoning, and action. Very important. Looking at the components of an AI agent. So when you are building your own, make sure these four things are inside. Or if even, yeah, all the four things have to be there, whether directly or indirectly, because some of these AI, non-code AI agent builders, they take care of the memory for you. Some don't take care of the memory for you. You are the one to create the memory yourself. So it can either be three of these or four of them. Like for instance, if you are doing N8N, it does not take care of memory for you. You are the one to input your memory yourself, everything yourself. Okay, let's keep moving on. So let's pick one of each of them one by one. What do we mean by large language model, LLM? Examples of them are OpenAI's ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, Meta's Llama, and Highfly's DeepSeek. Meaning that ChatGPT was produced by OpenAI, Gemini AI was produced by Google, Llama is produced by Meta, DeepSeek is produced by iFlyers. Now, any of you can choose any of these. I think right now most of all the large language models will do well. And so you if you the only thing that might limit or make you choose one over the other might be the cost. To make use of this LLM, you have to have some amount of money in your if you want to use it. You have to put in some amount of money, maybe $5, $10, any of them as time be. But they have the free version to an extent where you can walk around like OpenAI, ChatGPT. If you're going to use an API to access their own large language model, you have to put in some amount of money. $5 is not bad for it, and the rest. But the cheaper ones, and that for me, if I'm to advise, since you are still learning, if you want to take it seriously, like you really want to do it for a client or the rest, then you can start paying for it. And the good thing about the payment is it is pay as you go, meaning that or pay as you use. What that means is that it is when you use it that you pay, that is they deduct for me. It's not the type that is monthly. Normal chat GPT, if you are using it, you pay $20 or so monthly. And once that month is over, the $20 goes. No, it's not like that. It is as frequent as you use that they'll be deducting it. And the deduction is not that much. So if you go down to Google Gemini, I think Google Gemini is one of the ones that are kind of liberal. Okay, so here you can still make use of it. Is I won't say it is free, but it has its free version which you can still make use of. Meta Llama, that one is open source, so it's completely free. It's completely free, but it has its own limitations there. And we have High Flyers DeepSeek. So if I'm to make recommendations on the LLM you are to use either Gemini or DeepSeek. But for our tutorial, the one we'll be doing, we'll be making use of Gemini. Yeah, Gemini. Gemini will give you a result. DeepSeek, they will tell you that you need to DeepSeek, Chat, GPT, those ones will tell you that you need to put in some amount of money because their APIs are you have to pay for their APIs. All right. Prompt. A prompt is the input or instruction you give to an AI model to make it do something. Prompt engineering is the art and science of crafting effective prompts to get the best results for an AI model. Now, whatever the instruction you give to your AI model or AI agent is the instruction it will follow. The key here is that you have to be as explicit as possible. Don't give room for the AI to assume for you because you might get results that you did not plan for. Very weird results. And you'll be wondering, where is this one coming from? So I would advise you take time in your prompts, give it clear instructions. The best way to do those kind of instruction, do step by step instructions. Tell it that after you do this, then you go ahead and do this. After you do this one, then you move over to the next one. Give it step by step instructions. And after you give it step by step instructions, you can go further to give it an example so that you can understand the context. Say you can say example, this is this and this and this is how I want it to be done. You can specify the format of the output. If you are looking for a format, maybe you want it to be a JSON, you want it to be a text file, or you want it to be a PNG, or you want it to be a PDF file. You must give your details. Be clear and specific. This part should not be ignored because if you don't do this, you observe that your AI agent will come out with strange results, and it will be somehow when you are handing it over to a client and the client starts complaining that the AI agent is not doing what it ought to do. Now, let's move over to tools. Specialized functions. Tools are specialized functions, APIs, services, or capability that an agent can access and used to extend its ability beyond its core reasoning and language and capability. Okay, for instance, let's say I want to search the web. I'm just giving it as an example. I want to search the web. If I'm to do that, um, ChatGPT cannot by itself. Okay, although now they've added searching of the web, but um, it's to an extent it might not do it the way you want. So this one you are creating the AI agent yourself. So what you do is that you have to link your LLM to a Google search. So what you do is that you create a tool that can access the Google search. Yeah, you make it available to your LLM, and the LLM makes use of it to get the job done. That's how it works. So we have API integration, connections to external services like search engines, weather forecast, database, and the rest of them. Okay, so this is where we'll stop for this. And the next thing we are going to be doing is to go to the practice session. Okay, I would be sharing my screen. Can you see what I'm sharing? Okay, so I guess we can see the screen here. And if you cannot, just let me know. So the AI agent builder, this is called an AI agent builder, and that's the one we want to focus on today. And it is relevant. You can see the name here, relevant AI. So the first thing first, you either sign up or you log in. And I think each and every one of us, we are familiar with how to either log into something or sign up. We've been doing it for a long time. So I will not take much of your time in explaining that. I will just go right into it. So let me try and log in. Okay. So I've already done my own logging in. That's why it took me in. But if you are coming here for the very first time, what you should do, what you should do is to sign up. And after you sign up, it will ask you some few questions. Then if you once you answer it, you are directed to a page that looks like this. Okay. Coming. Okay. So um the when you come and you see this place now, you would observe that we have a template, and it will ask you what would you like to build today. At least you've seen it. And if you go down, you see different templates, different things that other people have worked on. Example, we have, if you can see Clink AI manager, magic hour manager, FAQ writer. So these are things that people have already done on this place, and they are making it available for you. The good thing about this is that if somebody has done what you want to do, there's absolutely no reason why you should go ahead and redo it again. You don't need to start from scratch. So what you do is that you can see beside here, you see somewhere where they wrote clone. So what you do is to clone it. And by cloning it, you have access to everything they did. You can make one or two tweaks so that it can fit into your own personal workspace or whatever you have in mind to do. Okay. I hope we are still following up to this moment. If you are following, just type we are following. I want to be sure we are still here. Okay. So for let me see some of them. Okay. Now we have audio analyzer. So if this is what you are interested in, it already, if as I put my cursor around it, you can see it say this agent is a market research audio analysis expert. He knows about analyzing individual files as well as extracting insight from multiple recordings. If this is what you want, good and fine. But if it is not, we leave it. We now have up here what we have trending agents. What that means is that the ones people are using the most. We have agent templates, which we've looked at different agent templates. We now have tool templates. If you remember in the place where I was telling you things, I told you that one of the things to consider is the LLM, your agents, and also to consider the tools. Okay, now so here they already have the tools available. Okay, we have perform Google search, so they already have a tool for that. Extract and summarize website content. We have Google search, scrapped use of them. All right, up until this very point, question, any question? Okay, yes, no question. Okay, so let's continue. So the first thing you do is to go under where we have agents. By your left, you will see obviously your the name of your the name you gave it when you were filling some things at the beginning point when you signed up. You have notifications if there is any settings. Template is where we are. We've seen all the different templates. We have the workforce. Here we have agents, which is what we are interested in. There are three things we are interested in here: agents, tools, and knowledge. Those are the three things we are interested in. And here you can see that I've created some agents myself: source discovery agent, email manager agent, calendar manager agents. So, but let me click on this agent here. So immediately you click on the agent, you will see on the topmost right, I think that's what you be. We have imports and we have new agents. What we're interested in is to create our own agents, and we will be creating it from scratch. I'll show you the way it is done. So you click on the new agent, and this particular window comes up where you have your agent profile. This is where you give the details to your agents. Firstly, it asks for an agent name. So right now we're just going to do a very simple AI agent for today. So let's call it. I want an AI agent that can do a Google research for us. And after doing the Google research, we want it to be able to summarize. Right? Okay. So we're going to have. Let's call it research, uh, research and summarizer agents. So right now we need to give it a description. We can see agent description. Okay. So what you do is you go to. I will advise you the best thing is to go to ChatGPT and request for a description, and that's what we're going to do. Okay. So let me switch. Okay. I guess we can see the ChatGPT. So what we are going to do is we're going to say, give me a description for We'll now go, let's copy the name of the agent. For a research and summarizer agent, we'll now give more details, which, whose, let's say, whose function is to search the web, specifically Google, and return a summary of the search. I want